Burn the bridge. Left that town with one duffel bag, 20 bucks and a full ashtray. Sheriff watched me cross the county line. Didn't wave, didn't have to. Everybody knew why I was leaving. Nobody asked why it took so long. Pulled into a roadside station, but bought enough gas to chase daylight. Old cashier looked up once, said, "Long road." I smiled, "Long story." He nodded like he'd heard that answer 1,000 times. Some roads take you home, some roads teach you why you left. Oh! Burn the bridge, hit the gas, don't waste one more minute looking back. Dust behind, blue sky ahead, ain't no ghost gonna steal my breath. Kick that drum, ring that bell, I've been through my own kind of hell. Still standing, still alive, that's enough to make this right. Found a bar near Jackson Hill, band already halfway through. Sing a smile without a word, scooted over, made some room. Didn't know me, didn't care. Only thing that mattered there was whether you could raise your glass and sing. A Marine at the counter bought me whiskey, didn't ask my last name, just raised his bottle, said, "To surviving." Whole room answered without thinking, like they'd all been waiting to hear it. Nobody gets out clean, that's alright. Scars sing louder than trophies. Burn the bridge, hit the gas, every hard mile still gets past. Bass keeps rolling through the smoke, slide guitar never jokes. Hands one down, boots worn thin, still got enough fight within. If tomorrow comes too fast, I'll outrun it like the last. Nobody remembers how much money you had. They remember whether you showed up, whether you laughed, whether you helped push somebody else's truck out of the ditch. Woo! Burn the bridge, hit the gas, leave the hard days in the past. One more mile, one more town, never let this fire drown. Long as these strings still scream loud, long as bass moves this crowd, I keep rolling till they lay me 6 feet down. With dirt on my boots and a smile, keep the engine warm. I ain't done yet. nobody coming to save me. So I better get my damn boots on. Let's go. Let's go. Alarm went off, I killed it twice. Third time ringing, I took the advice. Got out of bed before I changed my mind. Shirt on the chair, boots by the door. Same old problems waiting on the floor. I checked my wallet, didn't like the news, but a broke man still got something he can choose. I chose coffee, I chose gasoline, chose to leave before the day got mean. Truck fired up with a coffin shake, sounding like it had a heart to break. Radio cracked through some old blues song. I turned it up and sang along. Didn't know the words, didn't matter much. Sometimes a man just needs something loud to keep in touch. I spent too many years waiting on a sign. Then I figured out the sign was mine. Ain't nobody coming to save me. Ain't nobody coming down that road. If I want a different kind of morning, I'm gonna have to carry my own load. Let the bad news bang on my window. Let the old ghost call my name. I got two hands, a little courage, and a tank with half a gauge. Ain't nobody coming to save me. And tonight, that's alright with me. Stopped at a diner near Route 9. Waitress poured coffee before I asked. She said, "You look tired." I said, "That's expensive." She laughed and brought me a second glass. Man in the corner read the morning paper like the world was ending at noon. I said, "Anything good?" He folded the page and said, "Depends what you're willing to call good." I called my brother after breakfast, haven't talked since last July. He answered on the phone ring, didn't say hello, neither did I. We talked about the weather, then the truck, then our mother, then the things we never mention when we say we're doing fine. Funny how silence can sound like family. Funny how distance can feel like a lie. Ain't nobody coming to save me. Ain't nobody gonna fix my past. If I want to keep this heart beating, I gotta stop living in the last. Got some debts I gotta settle, got some bridges I might rebuild. Got a little bit of fight left, and a whole lot of road still. Ain't nobody coming to save me, but maybe I don't need them to. The funny part is, I thought I needed somebody Turns out, I needed to quit waiting. Let's ride. Let's go. Devil still owes me. About 20 years. And a tank of gasoline. Slow down. I just laughed and left this town. $20 in my boot, 3 old shirts, 1 worn suit. Every mile stole something, didn't ask permission first. Still I kept that engine hot like losing. Couldn't catch me yet. Across the county, just past noon, sun was burning like bad news. Stopped beside an old pawn shop, sold my watch, kept my pride. Old cashier looked me over, said, hard times, I smile back, not today. Today's payday. Even though it wasn't. I'm making lose his wallet, lose his truck, lose his girl, but don't lose your life. That's expensive. Devil owes me pocket change, interest too for all this pain. Still ain't broke, just been a while. Still got fire, still got style. Slide guitar, burn that night. Bass keep everything tight. If tomorrow wants a fight, tell him I'll be there. County sheriff pulled me over, looked inside my old Ford. Saw guitars, beer caps, work boots, nothing more. He shook his head, handed back my license without a word, said stay safe. That's all some days need. Friday night at Jackson Bar, band was louder than the crowd. Young kid asked me how you doing. I pointed toward the band, said better now, always better now. Life keeps swinging, so do we. Devil owes me more than luck, owes me every busted truck, every sunrise I outran, every promise that still stands. Bass keeps talking all night long, every heartbeat finds this song. If I fall, don't count me out, dust comes off easy enough. Just keep moving. Devil owes me one more mile, one more laugh, one more smile, one more bar, one more song, one more place where I belong. Long as bass till these wheels forget my name. Keep the tab open. I'll be back Friday. Monday owns my paycheck. Tuesday owns my back. Friday belongs to me. Concrete floor, clock keep yelling, work some more. Lunch break came and disappeared. Somehow every week feels longer than the last one did. Hands covered in grease again. Same old gloves, same old grin. Somebody asked, how you doing? I said, still breathing, good enough. Said need you Saturday. I laughed before I answered, you buying Friday. Whole crew stopped and busted out. Even he couldn't hide a little smile. Sometimes jokes keep a man from quitting. Every hard week is the same. One cold beer, one loud band, one more chance to remember me nothing. She already paid me back. One guitar, one bass line gets me right back on track. Working hands, working soul, that's the only life I know. Turn it louder, don't slow down, we're still standing. That's enough. Hey. The old waitress knows my name, pours my drink before I wave. Corner table still ain't fixed. Been leaning since '96. Band starts, whole room changes. Factory dust turns into dancing. Funny what 3 chords can do to tired people. Guy beside me lost his job, didn't tell a single soul till that night halfway through second chorus. Raised his glass and tomorrow's tomorrow. Tonight, I'm still alive. Whole place cheered like church. Nobody here pretends life is easy. That's why everybody sings so loud. Friday never owes me nothing. Music's worth more than gold. One more verse, one more laugh makes these tired bones feel whole. Kick that drum, let it roll. Slide guitar, save my soul. When Monday comes, I'll still fight. But tonight belongs to us. Never ask for easy roads. Just give me good friends, cold beer, honest work, and somebody who still smiles when I walk through the door. Friday never owes me nothing. She gave me everything. Another laugh, another memory, another reason still the same. Long as this bass keeps moving, long as that snare hits hard, we'll keep dancing through the struggle like broken kings with stubborn hearts. See y'all Monday if we have to. See y'all Friday because we wanna. See y'all Friday because we wanna. Rent's due Friday. Paycheck's gone Wednesday. Guess we're doing this the hard way again. Yeah. On the hot steel, hands so sore, couldn't feel. Clock hit 5, whistle blew. Everybody running, something to prove. I bought gas, counted change, same old road, different day. Kept $1 in my pocket just in case. Luck remembered my name. Stopped downtown at Murphy's bar, ordered coffee, skipped the jar. Old jukebox started playing some forgotten southern song. Lady smiling behind the counter said, long day. I nodded once, she filled my cup before I asked. Sometimes mercy looks that small. The world keeps taking bites, you keep standing anyway. That's how working folks stay alive. Paycheck full of holes, still got a little soul. Can't buy luck, can't buy time, still got a rhythm, still got mine. If tomorrow knocks me down, I stand up one more round. Long as this bass still rolls, ain't nobody taking my soul. Hey, neighbor called, needed a hand. Fence came down in the wind again. Spent 2 hours hammering nails. Never asked who owed who. He handed me half a pie, fresh from his wife's oven. Sometimes payment don't come inside an envelope. Sometimes it smells like cinnamon. Little girl riding bikes, waved hello every night. Didn't know my first name, didn't matter, just the same. Funny how a simple wave can fix a harder day better than any sermon ever could. You don't always need more money. Sometimes you just need one reason to keep driving. Paycheck full of holes, still got rock and roll boots, one thin back, one out. Still got said, son, you'll spend half your life making money and the other half learning. It ain't what keeps you warm, I finally understand what he meant. Paycheck full of holes, hot steel made of gold. Road gets rough, truck gets sold, still this story gets told. Working hands, working men, wake up, do it all again. Long as music fills these bones, I'll never walk this road alone. See y'all Friday. Same boots, same blues. 2 miles past the county line, that's where I ran out of excuses. Lucky for me, the bar was still open. Temperature rising, needle going down. I pulled on the gravel, killed the engine cold. Had $20 and a story nobody needed told. Saw a red sign through the trees, half the letters had burned away. I figured any place that looked that tired probably understood a man like me. Bartender looked over, didn't say hello, just pointed at the stool where the regulars go. I said, truck's dead. He said, that's a shame. I said, girl left me too. He said, what's her name? I told him. He poured the drink, then he shook his head. Son, you're gonna need something stronger than whatever's in that glass. Some nights a man needs answers, some nights he just needs a place where nobody knows the question. 2 miles past the county line, I lost my truck and almost lost my mind. Had bad luck riding shotgun and a broken heart keeping time. But that old bass kept walking and that piano wouldn't quit. Funny how a hard night can turn around when somebody plays a little bit. 2 miles past the county line, I found a reason to stay a while. Sat beside me, wore a ball cap from some team that hadn't won since God knows when. He asked where I was going, I said, don't know yet. He said, that's convenient. I said, how's that? He said, nobody can be late if they don't know where they're headed. Charlie bought around and told me about a woman he once loved. Said they spent 37 years arguing about the thermostat. I laughed, it didn't. Then he smiled and said, that's how you know you found somebody worth arguing with. Funny thing about lonely men, we talk about the women who left, never about the ones we pushed away. 2 miles past the county line, I found some truth between the neon signs. I had pride in my pocket and regret inside my coat, but that old upright bass was laughing like it knew I'd stay afloat. Out 2 miles past the county line, I wasn't healed, but I felt alright. Sometimes you don't need a miracle, you just need music on a Friday night. Truck's fixed, girl's still mad, coffee's terrible, hell, could be worse. Take the long way home. Take the long way home. Sunday morning, dirt on my shoes, and a whole lot of things I ain't telling the preacher. Saturday couch, sun coming through, a broken blind. My work shirt still smelled like diesel from the Friday night shift. Coffee tasted like burned pennies, but I drank it anyway. Had a rent due Monday and a woman downtown who wouldn't answer my calls. Mr. Lee was sweeping out front. He looked at me, looked at my shoes, said, boy, you been somewhere. I said, not anywhere worth talking about. He laughed and kept sweeping like he'd heard that answer 100 times before. Some mornings you don't need good advice, you just need somebody who doesn't ask too many questions. Got dirt on my Sunday shoes, trouble in my pocket, and nothing left to lose. I got a bad reputation and a heart that still beats. I keep walking through the hard times on these tired feet. Dirt on my Sunday shoes ain't pretty, but it's mine. I've been down some crooked roads, still made it home tonight. Around noon I drove outside town, past past the old cotton fields. Saw my father's old red tractor still sitting under the shed. Haven't touched it since he died. Didn't want to for a long time. Funny thing about grief, it doesn't leave, it just gets quieter when you stop running from it. I pulled over by the creek, killed the engine, sat there listening. Water moving over stones like it had somewhere better to be. I remembered he once told me, son, don't confuse being broke with being beaten. I was 22 and too damn proud to understand him. Now I'm old enough to hear his voice in the things I never noticed. Got dirt on my Sunday shoes, old man's words inside my head, bills on the table, dust on the bed. I could blame the whole damn world for the shape I'm in, but somewhere between the hurt and the years I learned to begin again. Dirt on my Sunday shoes, let the whole town stare. I've carried worse things than a little red clay down these stairs. You know, Sunday ain't really about looking clean. It's about making it through Saturday and still having somewhere to go. I'll see y'all Monday. I'll see y'all Monday. A water tower, didn't plan on going that way. Old gravel road cut through the cotton like it hadn't changed since I was a kid. There stood behind the pecan trees, white paint peeling from the window frames. I knew that place before I saw it, knew exactly who had lived there. Porch light burning every night. My father would come home long after midnight. She'd hear his truck before anybody else and open the door. Before he knocked, I never understood it. When I was 17, thought love was supposed to be louder. Didn't know then, some people say I'm to carry them. That house with no porch light still knows my name, still holds the shadows of the man I used to blame. I drove away thinking distance could make me free, but every mile just carried that old house inside of me. That house with no porch light don't look the same, but some doors stay open long after you forget the way. I parked the truck beside the mailbox, didn't kill the engine right away. Sat there listening to the tide motor tick itself back into silence. There was a dent in the kitchen screen from when I threw that old baseball. My mother patched it with some wire and never mentioned it again. I walked around back, found the old shed door hanging crooked off one hinge. Inside was a toolbox covered in rust and my father's work gloves still on the shelf. I picked one up, held it in my hand, and for the first time in a long damn while, I missed it without being angry. That felt strange. Maybe forgiveness ain't saying what happened didn't hurt. Maybe it's just finally getting tired of carrying it everywhere. That house with no porch light still stands there quiet as a grave. I used to think leaving the town was the bravest thing I ever made. Now I know sometimes courage means turning around, walking back to the places that once broke you down. Oh, that house with no porch light still has one thing I can't explain. I walked away a different man and drove home with the same old name. Didn't go inside, didn't need some rooms, a better left than yesterday. I put the glove back on the shelf, straightened the toolbox as best I could. Then I walked back to the truck and sat there for another minute, looking at that house like it was looking back at me. I passed that house again. Didn't stop, didn't have to. For the first time, I knew I was home. I knew I was home. Well, I finally came back. Turns out the town didn't miss me nearly as much as I missed it. just before dark. Same old water tower, same busted park. Hardware store, still on Main. Same 3 trucks outside the bar. I thought I'd feel like a stranger after all those years, but Mrs. Johnson at the diner still remembered how I took my coffee. She said, boy, you got older. I said, so did you. She laughed so hard she nearly dropped the coffee pot on my shoe. Asked about my father, I stared down at my cup, said, haven't talked about him in years. She didn't push me, didn't ask why. Some people know when to leave a door alone. Hey, funny how a hometown can remember every version of a man, even the ones he'd rather forget. I'm back where the highway is, where everybody knows your name, where the old folks remember your father and the young ones know your mistakes. I left here thinking freedom meant getting far away. Now I'm standing at the same old corner, wondering what I ran away from anyway. I'm back where the highway ends, and maybe that's where I'll begin. Found my old truck behind the barn, flat tire, dead battery, rust along. The driver's door looked worse than I remembered. I turned the key just for the hell of it. Engine coughed and called, I laughed out loud, because some things apparently have more stubbornness than sense. My sister called that evening, said, you staying long? I said, don't know. She said, that's different. I asked her what she meant. She said, you used to leave before anybody could ask you to stay. That one landed harder than I wanted to admit. Maybe growing up ain't getting wiser. Maybe it's finally getting tired of running. I'm back where the highway is, where the neon still burns red, where the same old barroom stories still get told like yesterday. I got scars, I got mileage, I got plenty I regret, but I ain't ashamed of every mile that brought me back here yet. I'm back where the highway ends, and I ain't leaving just yet. Funny thing about coming home, the road gets real quiet once you stop fighting it. Pour me some coffee. Live my paycheck at a bar in Tupelo. Don't ask me how I managed that. At $3 and a half tank of gas. When I pulled out of the parking lot, my buddy said, "You got a plan?" I said, "Sure I do." He looked at the truck, then looked at me and said, "That's what worries me." We stopped somewhere past the county line for coffee and a piece of pie. Waitress knew we were trouble before we even took our seats. She looked at my boots, looked at his jacket, then poured 2 cups without asking. I said, "Ma'am, how'd you know?" She said, "Men who have money don't eat pie at 2 in the morning." That's when I figured maybe she was right. Some folks chase a better life. We were just trying to make it through the night. Trouble rides in the backseat, got nowhere else to go. Keeps tapping on my shoulder every mile I hit the road. I tell it, "Get out!" It just laughs and settles down. I guess some things follow a man from town to town. Trouble rides in the backseat, but tonight we're getting there. We found a motel with a broken sign. Half the letters had gone dark. Clerk was sleeping in a folding chair with a television in the lobby. We asked for a room, he asked for cash. We showed him everything we had. He stared at us for a long second, then said, "Gentlemen, you boys look worse than my credit card machine." Morning found us still awake, sitting on the hood of that old Ford. My buddy said, "You ever think about settling down?" I said, "Sometimes." He said, "When?" I looked at the sunrise over the telephone wires and said, "Probably right after I stop making the same mistakes." He laughed, "So never?" I said, "Pretty much." We weren't saints, never claimed it, but we knew when the night got me. You keep your headlights on the road and your brothers close beside you. Trouble rides in the backseat, snoring like it owns the truck. Keeps eating all our peanuts like it paid for all the stuff. I told it, "We're broke." They said, "That's all right." I said, "We're tired, it's the best life." So we kept that old Ford moving through the blacktop night. Trouble rides in the backseat, but it ain't driving, not tonight. Trouble's got my address, but it still can't find me before breakfast. You know, my old man used to say, you wake up breathing, you're already one step ahead.
Sun ain't waiting, neither am I. Steel-toe boots, concrete dust, lunch pail riding by my side. Worked all day for a paycheck, already promised somewhere else. Funny thing about growing older, bills learn your name first. His life. Looked me over, grinned and said, still chasing dreams? I grinned back, no sir, just trying to stay ahead of them. Some men pray on Sunday, some pray behind a steering wheel. One more dollar than yesterday, one more sunrise on the way. On the way, bass keeps rolling like a train. Can't stop thunder, can't stop rain. Slide, slide guitar, tell my story. Horn section, raise the roof. Long as these hands still remember how to work, I'll make it through. Friday evening, Jackson's bar, band already halfway hot. Some old farmer bought a whiskey, said, son, you look tired. I raised my glass, said, that's all right. Means I earned this first sip. Whole room laughed like they'd said those same words 100 times. Till the waitress named Louise never wrote my order down. Still remembered every Friday, same old pie, same old smile. She asked, you ever think about leaving? I looked around at all those faces, said, where else would I belong? Sometimes home ain't one address, sometimes it's whoever knows your name when you walk in. One more dollar than yesterday, still enough to find my way. Working hands, working soul, ain't nobody bought this road. Kick drum like a heartbeat. Bassline, never lie, never lie, never lie. You can fake a lot of things, can't fake these Friday nights. I've lost jobs, lost money, lost people, lost sleep. But every single time music found me before despair did. One more dollar than yesterday, that's enough to keep my faith. One more mile, one more town, never let life slow me down. Long as this band still plays loud, long If you wake up breathing, you're already one step ahead. Monday morning, coffee black. Sun ain't waiting, neither am I. Steel-toed boots, concrete dust, lunch pail riding by my side. Monday morning, coffee black. Sun ain't waiting, neither am I. Steel-toed boots, concrete dust, lunch pail riding by my side. Monday morning, coffee black. Sun ain't waiting, neither am I. Steel-toed boots, concrete dust, lunch pail riding by my side. Worked all day for a paycheck, already promised somewhere else. Funny thing about growing older, bills learn your name first. Stop for gas outside Mobile, bought enough to reach the line. Oh, cashier counted quarters like he counted half his life. Looked me over, grinned and said, still chasing dreams. I grinned back, no sir, just trying to stay ahead of them. Some men pray on Sunday, some pray behind the steering wheel. One more dollar than yesterday, one more sunrise on the way. Bass keeps rolling like a train.